Hey guys, it's Isaac Thorne.
Isaac, what's up, dude?
Not much. I think I accidentally hit the call button on you guys about 5 minutes ago. I hope I didn't interrupt Sleepy Lucas or anything.
No, not at all. I was gonna ask though, well, you're a horror author, as everybody knows, but being from Tennessee, have you ever witnessed or been invited to be in a Tennessee log jammer?
No,
Okay.
thank God.
All right. I was hoping, because that would have been bad. That's a road you don't want to go down.
What did you decide that the actual definition of Tennessee logjammer was again?
The ladders.
Yeah,
the ladders.
The
Two men pooping on a woman on ladders, and then another man eating the logs as they roll down her back.
I just love the logistics of it, like the image of these two guys going to the hardware store trying to pick up the right ladder.
These
and
buddies, they're just
planning it all out, and they got to go find a third guy because they don't have a third guy that's willing to do it yet.
Life's gotten very mundane. They're sick of all the food they're eating. They got to do something to spice things up.
And I guess whoever's doing the pooping better make sure he ate the right amount of food or right type of food.
That's it. Yeah, right, you got to get that log perfect. You got to get that rawfage
in there, man.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I said. I said a lot of kale. A lot of kale in that is involved. Oh man, what did you think about the season finale of Rick and Morty, Isaac?
Oh wow, I don't think I've seen the season finale yet.
Okay, I just felt like it was a great episode, just not season finale worthy. Yeah. What about you, Slambo?
Yeah,
was it the return of
the president?
The president, yeah.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
You didn't see that one either? Okay, yeah, it was a great episode. I just did not feel like it wasn't like the season 2 finale that left everything different. It wasn't like that.
It wasn't even like the opening of season 3, like
that, or like I said, like they should have ended with I don't know if you guys saw the which one, the
Rick Lantis mix-up?
The one that was like when they were rebuilding the Citadel, like that one.
Yeah, dude, that one was great.
Oh, I thought they should have ended with that. Like that would have been a great ending.
Yeah, that would have been a good finale. I did see that one.
But your book, Isaac, is amazing. Roadkills,
Thank you.
Short Tales of Horror.
Yeah, I finally got it out there. I had been planning on pulling previously published and never before published stories together for a while, but I didn't really feel like it was there until I had a kind of running theme. And when I pulled it all together, I realized that the majority of the stories had something to do with the road, in some fashion or a journey of some kind. So when I pulled them all together, Roadkills just seemed the natural thing to title it. I'm glad you guys are, or I'm glad Rob is enjoying it. I don't know if Slim started.
I read 2 of the stories today, and I really liked them. I read the first one. I keep forgetting the name of it.
Because Reasons,
and a Dislike, and I like both of those.
I love the one. Awesome. Whatever. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but you had a story in there, and then later, and I don't know if it happens again, but it goes back to that story, and it's fucking so good, so good. Wow. But it was by the first line, I'm like, is this going back to that? And it did. It's so good. Have you read it, Slambo?
I haven't yet, but it is on my mahogany bookshelf in my personal office.
There's a lot on your bookshelf. Does that mean it gets read? Or?
Oh, no, it all gets read. It all definitely gets read.
Good to have you back, Slambo. I hadn't heard you in a while.
Yeah.
We're trying to... Isaac telling me he has to get off for the next semester.
We need him.
He needs Wednesdays off.
We need this.
Yeah, you got to come back, dude. You got to come back.
I'm gonna try.
Maybe you can do like online learning or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do for a Wednesday class. I'm gonna try to get an online one next year.
Is Sleepy Lucas holding you over though, Isaac? Is he a good fix for Slambo?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I have to. Yeah, Sleepy Lucas has been great. I have to tell you that when you put the poll up. What was it, last week?
Yeah.
Last week?
2 weeks. It was about 2 weeks ago, yeah.
2 weeks ago. I voted for my own story there because I was afraid nobody else would vote for it.
You came in second, though.
I know, I saw that.
And the one I loved did not even win or come in second. I loved the Little Mermaid one. I love the Sleepy Little Mermaid. That's
the Sleepy Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
That is a great story.
Do you have anything special planned, Isaac, for Halloween?
for Halloween, I'm probably just gonna spend as much of the day and night possible watching classic horror movies, as many as I can get into the day there. It's been a long time since I've gone back to the old school, 1930s Universal Monsters movies, so I've been kind of itching to get back to those.
What's your favorite? I guess I don't know, of all time, or what's do you have favorites from different times?
I do have favorites from different times. My all-time favorite, though, is Fright Night, the 1985 Fright Night.
Oh, I don't think I ever saw that.
No, I've never seen that either.
Oh, it's a great. It's the best vampire movie I've ever seen.
Cool.
From the Universal days, from the 1930s, my favorite's Frankenstein, though.
Cool.
The Mummy is mine. The original Mummy.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
So as far as like vampires movies go, I still love From Dusk Till Dawn, just because you didn't see it turning into a vampire movie.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was good.
That's a good one.
I always wondered if that was kind of his Quentin Tarantino's kind of nod to Psycho there, because like the first part of Psycho is about a heist.
Yes, yes. That's what I think everybody forgets. Yeah, it was about a heist.
Yeah. And people complain about From Dusk Till Dawn being, like half heist and half vampire movie, but it works, I think.
Yeah, that movie's great. I love Cheech.
Yeah.
Cheech is my
He did like two characters in that movie too.
Yeah, he was great in that movie.
Going back to Roadkills though, Isaac, how long did it take you to compile those stories?
Those stories go all the way back to, I think, 2013. Nobody Was Here was the first of those stories that I set down. So it's been about a 4-year process pulling all that together.
I love the details. Like I don't think I got to that one yet. What am I on? I think Murder of Crows, and I meant to read that this past week, and I never got around to it. But I just love some of the details, some of the just the gory things, like the squishing of the eyes but from like a crowbar. Just the way you go into is good.
Thank you.
And anything like head trauma, anything with the head trauma fucks me up like majorly.
Oh yeah.
So there's plenty of that.
There's a lot of head trauma.
What is your favorite story of all of them?
Oh, my favorite of all of those, I think it's Dig 'Em. Honestly, I keep going back to Dig 'Em. I wrote the story. I did an audio version of it. And then I wrote a screenplay version of it that I've, submitted to several film festivals, and he's just stuck with me.
Nice.
Something about him has stuck with me, so I think he's my favorite of all of them.
Is he also your favorite character?
Yeah, because I can do his voice.
Isaac Slambo said he wants to hear some Dig 'Em.
Yeah, we've heard Dig 'Em before.
I want to hear more Dig 'Em.
But he's not reading Dig 'Em tonight. You just wait. You just wait for your story, Slambo. He's gone back to school. He thinks he's better than us now. He wants stories.
Oh, no.
Stories on demand, Slambo wants.
Isaac, I'm curious because I read Dislikes and I really, really love that concept. I love the way you wrote that one, and I was wondering, what was the inspiration behind that story?
Facebook.
I love the guy liking his own shit.
Yeah.
I always hate that person who likes their own shit.
You watch Facebook, and especially now. The story was written before the 2016 campaigns, but the personalities on Facebook really started to get stronger during that time. And if you look back at what people, and even still, how people were reacting to each other. Everybody's so reactive. You can't really post anything without someone either arguing with you about it or egging you on in a wrong way or something like that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to kind of capture that whole, social networking thing and take it to its extreme end with this guy who is obviously having a terrible day. And, he's venting about it on Facebook, and what does he get in return but this this convoluted, conversation of everybody telling him what to do.
I also say though too, like some people, like you don't need to post all that. Like you should have just messaged one friend privately about that. You don't need to fucking post all that shit.
Absolutely.
And I also like that too, like people liking statuses that like it's like, oh, my dog died today, and somebody likes that. Like really, why did you like that asshole? Like yeah, like there's some shit like that in there too. Like.
And even now that Facebook's introduced other reactions, I mean, you can do the sad reaction, but a lot of people still just click.
Somebody's still just liking my dog died this afternoon. Like,
and I don't know about you guys, but I have found myself every now and then you read somebody's status and you see they have like 50 comments, and you just get sucked into this story of what's going on with all this. Like,
I don't, but I one of my favorites too is the like, I had the worst day ever, and that's all they put, and they're just looking for people to give them attention. What happened? What happened? Like, just
vague booking is what they call it.
I like that. I like that.
There was one that I loved it. It was this dude who was like, I guess he never gets laid. It wasn't me. I didn't.
I was gonna say.
But I guess this kid like never gets laid, and he went into that mindset where he started blaming women. Like it wasn't his fault. It was all the woman's fault that he wasn't getting laid. And
it's just their fault.
Reading the comments of people just ripping this kid apart, it was amazing. I was sitting there, and it was like ongoing while I'm watching this. So I'm like refreshing it to see like the new comments and shit. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And then the kid started going into like these religious chants where he's like, you guys don't understand God, and I'm like, what
God put these women here for me to sow my seed. They're supposed to just accept it. God said it. God said it.
I'm Harvey Weinstein.
Isaac, would you ever sell your screenplay to Harvey Weinstein? I wouldn't recommend it.
No.
Not if you want to get
no.
I wouldn't want his name attached to anything. No. Except for belly porn, maybe. Maybe the next belly porn Slambo. We're getting Harvey Weinstein on. Isaac, could you read us something?
Absolutely. I've got on Friday the 13th. I put out a story that is not in Roadkills, and if you want it, you can buy it, at Amazon or whatever. But if you sign up for my newsletter through my website, you can actually get it for free, along with the audiobook version of Dig 'Em. So I thought I would read something from that story tonight, and it's called Plant.
Awesome.
All right, whenever you're ready, Isaac, I'm going to mute the mics now.
Awesome. Wouldn't do that, Joe. A startled cry bubbles up through his windpipe and very nearly escapes. He manages to capture most of it between pursed lips and exhales it instead. It comes out as a small puff of air that produces a barely audible sigh. He swallows the rest and hears the gulp inside his head. He is Senator Joe Cannon, Tennessee Southern Democrat. He is a strong man. He does not scream. A quick scan of his recent memory provides no matching identity for the voice. It slithers low and angry from the darkness, a hoarse whisper thrust to his ears by what? Rage? Hate? The voice is rough, masculine. There is a decidedly southern twang there as well, especially with the words do and that. Apparently a native, like himself. Joe's own practiced nightly news anchor voice had nearly murdered and buried his native dialect many years ago. Sometimes he accidentally reverts to it in private when his guard is down, but not often anymore. He once was told by his poli-sci professor in college that it made him sound unintelligent, although he could not say he had ever met a man whose level of intellect was actually betrayed by his accent alone. The malice behind the Shadow Man's command arrives, he swears to it, with an odor like a beer fart stirred around in the room by a ceiling fan. His hands fall away from the light switch, complying with the Shadow Man's order for now. He remains still against the opening of his office at the Capitol building, his hands at his sides. He is frightened, but fighting hard against the urge to demonstrate it. He feels the waves of his flight response pounding in his ears and chest, urging him to run and turn back to the security station on the first floor. Instead, he forces himself to lean his right shoulder against the door frame, lightly crossing his legs at the ankles. He feels relaxed in his posture, at least, if not in his biochemistry. In the dark, he thinks from in front of the large picture window-style mirror that hangs on the wall to the left of his desk, a small red ember glows. It brightens for a second and then goes dim again. This transition is followed by a long, satisfied exhale, the opposite of his own as he attempts to hide his efforts to catch his breath and slow his fearful racing heart, and the sick, stale smell of some kind of tobacco smoke. "There's no smoking in here," Joe intones. His voice sounds measured but steady to his own ears, authoritative, without a trace of an accent. Joe himself has been quit of the nasty cigarette habit for a decade, maybe. Has it really been so long? He doesn't think about it often enough these days to remember for certain. When he notes it was a pack of Camels at his daughter's apartment. No, in fact, even the stench of the stuff in her clothes or hair makes him nauseous on the weekends he drops in on her.
Hey,
yes.
Could you just back up a little bit? Because the Skype cut out for a moment.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. No problem. No problem. Let me know when you're ready.
All right, we're ready.
All right. "There's no smoking in here," Joe intones. His voice sounds measured but steady to his own ears, authoritative, without a trace of an accent. Joe himself has been quit of his nasty cigarette habit for a decade, maybe. Has it really been so long? He doesn't think about it often enough these days to remember for certain, except for when he notes the continuously present pack of Camels at his daughter's apartment. Now, in fact, even the stench of the stuff in her clothes or hair makes him nauseous on the weekends he drops in on her. He's been lobbying hard for the past few years to get her to quit. He feels a tickle in the back of his throat, feels it narrowing with the urge to cough. He swallows hard and tries to ignore the foul aroma. "How did you get in here?" he asks the darkness. "And what do you want?" A beat. The disembodied glowing ember waves a bit in the air, drops from the invisible hand holding it to the floor below, but does not go out. "You have something of ours, Joe," the voice replies. "We want it back." "Who are you?" From the void, something small and soft strikes him in the gut. It plummets from there to the floor and lands near his feet. He gasps in surprise, and then looks down to see a bundle of something, partially illuminated in the wan light from the hallway that's pouring in behind him. Cautiously, he kicks at it with the toe of one wingtip. It rolls a hair away from him, then returns to its former landing spot. Whatever it is, it seems to be lifeless. "Pick it up," the voice from the darkness commands. Joe folds his arms. "No." A click echoes in response. It sounds like the cocking of a handgun, just like in one of those old-time westerns he used to watch on Saturday afternoons with Rachel. That was back when she was little and still thought her daddy hung the moon. He hasn't heard from her in weeks, he thinks. He hasn't been able to bring himself to drop by her place either. He knows she disagrees with him politically. What kid doesn't go through that rebellious phase? They have always been able to put politics aside for family in the past. Lately, however, she seems more distant. Sometimes he thinks that's a good thing. Rachel's politics and college activism do not necessarily jibe well with the aspirations of her public servant father. Still, he hopes her silence just means she's busy, that it isn't because of something he's done. "Pick it up," the voice from the darkness commands again. "Do it, or we shoot. But keep your hands in the light from the door, where we can watch you do it." Joe sighs. "Okay," he says, "for Rachel." He raises his hands, open and palms front, so that they can be seen in the light cast from the hall. "Okay, you can see my hands. Nothing here. I'm going to reach down and pick it up. Just don't shoot. I have people who depend on me." Mocking laughter erupts from the other side of his desk. "That's so." Joe, surprised by the Shadow Man's amusement, feels rage bubble up from his gut. Guilty rage, as if he had just tried to convince someone of authority to let him off the hook for a crime he hasn't yet admitted to committing. But why should he care if this lowlife wants to criticize him, or even think badly of him? Maybe he has become estranged from Rachel a bit, but that's none of this man's business. And really, she is still dependent on him, financially at least. He pays her rent. He pays her rent for her every month. "Yes," he replies through clenched teeth. "That is so." "Well," answers the voice, "we think the only person who depends on you that you should worry about right now is you." Joe scoffs. Who is we, anyway? Pick it up. Joe sighs. Fine. Carefully, he kneels until his right knee touches the floor. He struggles to keep his hands raised to ear level and visible in the light from the hall until he feels the knee touch the hardwood beneath him. I'm going to pick it up now, he explains. I'm going to reach down for it with my right hand. I'm going to keep my left hand in the air as best I can. Silence from the darkness. Okay? Joe asks. Yes, comes the reply. Do it. To be continued.
Nice.
Awesome.
I was gonna say, Isaac. I've heard you read an excerpt from Hoppers.
Yes.
And it's so much more to the story. So much more to the story. I know you've at least read that once on our show, part of that, and it was great hearing you read it. But then just reading the story myself is just so good, so good.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, Isaac. What do you have planned for any upcoming books?
Right now I still have the draft of a novel that I've been working on for a long time.
Cool. I didn't mean to ring the bell. You got a bell.
Oh, that's okay.
That's an honor.
I appreciate that. Accidental honor.
Accidental bell. I prematurely belled all over myself.
How many drinks does it take to accidentally ring the bell?
2 shots and 2 beers get you an accidental bell.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I'm like at work and I hear something and I'm like, I wish I had that fucking bell on me because I would just ring it right now. And then there is one at one of the spots where I work. There is a bell. I just always want to run up and just ring it. Just because of that.
Absolutely.
What are the other things you do? Is that new? I saw that you review for the Horrorist.
I am doing film reviews for the Horrorist now. He reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in doing that. So
cool. I've
taken that up. I've got 2 reviews out now, maybe, and a third is either there or gonna be posted soon.
Which kind of movies are they? Mainstream movies? I'm sorry, are they mainstream or like indie movies?
They so far are indie movies. I don't know if we'll get any mainstream screeners or not. That all comes down from the Horrorist to me. But but so far they've all been indies.
Cool. And what were you saying? I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was saying that I'm also a host on SCRM Scream Radio.
I saw that too. Is that a new thing as well?
That is, I do a show called Thorne's Theater of Terror, and it's both me reading my original work, and I did a series that is basically a couple of chapters from The Picture of Dorian Gray. It's about a 7-part series. Ultimately the entire novel.
Cool.
And I also do a small bit on there called Classic Cuts, where I read excerpts from classic works of horror, just to fill in some time there.
Cool. Is that a station, Scream Radio? Is that an online station?
Yes. Go to screamradio.com/listen-live.
And it's SCRM.
Yeah, SCRM.
Okay, cool.
Radio.com.
That's awesome. And I don't know if it's from your book or because you gave us that amazing mention in the beginning. But I got to get back to the guy still. But I had a guy email me the other day asking if we only talked about horror or if we talk about it because I guess he's got some horror books and he's also got some other books he didn't know if we're only horror. And I just like, I know you said it in there. We're not a horror show, but
not exclusively horror.
Yeah,
right?
But we can go that route. It's not like the Tennessee Logjammer. We won't go that route. Maybe Slim will go that route. But the rest of us are not going that route. I can speak for all of us. when I say that.
I've been trying to find 2 other guys to play the one time.
Keeps asking us. Keeps asking
I'll
us.
help you build the wooden frame and I'll film it, but I'm not joining it.
He'll build a lattice. He wants to film it from. He wants a bird's eye view. Slambo needs a bird's eye view.
But are you going to be in the room when you film it, or are you just going to like set up the tripod and leave? Because I think that's what I would do.
No, you got to stay.
No, he wants to be there. He wants to be there. He wants to even like Clockwork Orange his eyes so he doesn't miss a blink.
I feel like you can't do a Tennessee log jammer in a bedroom. You got to do it in the middle of like a mall.